You're hit. You're bleeding, man.
I ain't got time to bleed.
Hi folks, and welcome to the Salty Seaman doing another military movie bullshit. Today we're going to do the 80s classic Predator, with the caveat going into this cold. Of course I've seen this movie a couple times at least growing up. My adulthood, I've seen bits and pieces up to maybe half at a time on the ship, watching movies at chow time or after hours or whatnot, but I haven't sat down and watch this movie beginning to end, and I don't know how long. It might be 20 years. I'm not even sure if there's enough military bullshit for enough content that way to really make a full video, so I may end up talking about other aspects of the movie besides military as I see them. So sit back and let's check out some military bullshit in Predator. So right away, the beginning of the movie has a almost Vietnam movie type effect, which I guess makes sense since, this is probably what they were going for, and Predator is a bit of an allegory for the Vietnam War. And yes, I'm sure, just like all special forces, they are taken from wherever their R&R site was in civvies and dropped off at location of the operation with no kind of brief at all, but movie purposes, it's establishing the characters a little bit and, of course, giving us our exposition. Now, if I recall, there is no deep explanation on Dutch here or his background, which obviously is an American. So we're left to discern he's called Dutch because he's Dutch, which explains the accent, even though it's quite obviously an Austrian accent. But I digress. So then leaves the question, if he's an American and an American commando would have a top secret clearance, he would have had to have gotten his citizenship, one would suppose, to hold a clearance. He would not be a straight up immigrant green card holder in the military. Or I believe he's an officer, so wouldn't be an officer either without a citizenship. So interesting trivia for this to work. This, however, is 100% accurate.
We're a rescue team, not assassins.
I really don't think in Special Forces you get to choose that, Dutch. Again, deciding that you just work alone and you get to pick and choose your missions. Also very doubtful that any of that's true. Doing clandestine missions with the CIA, however, yeah, that definitely happens.
It's a real nasty habit you got there.
Yeah, baby!
There's so much testosterone being pumped through this helicopter. I think I just added 20 pounds to my bench. Let's face it, jungles make for way more exciting military action commando type movies than the modern setting, which is usually the desert and villages in thereof. Just don't have the cinematic quality of a good jungle battle. Now, why some of them wearing regular caps and covers and they're not all in boonies, kind of, seems a little bullshitty. I mean, obviously I think for Special Forces kind of get a lot more leeway with what they wear, but I figure most of you wearing a boonie or something similar like Jesse Ventura's character, but of course it helps make Jesse Ventura's character stand out, which is movie-wise why he's the only one doing it, but otherwise, yeah, kind of bullshit. They should all probably be wearing their boonie caps.
6 men wearing U.S.-issued Army boots. They came in from the north, and then they followed the guerrillas.
A nice little touch. I like that. The tracker knows exactly how many men came in and left and what kind of boots they're wearing, which goes to show his skill. It is believable and, is not bullshit. Should go without saying, way too much hair even for a special ops commando. Just too much hair. Sure is convenient that they're beating and torturing the people just right out there in the open. So make sure Dutch could see it and could confirm. I mean, God forbid they do it inside a hot, locked room. Obviously, they are not piss testing Major Dutch for steroids here. Definitely a case of the world's most powerful grenades here. But action movie, it's awesome. Oh sure, the one man with the minigun looks badass, but yeah, it's highly impractical most of the time. Conveniently placed oil cans! Oh, and you thought that was just a video game thing, did you? Now, of course, there's so much gleefully fun bullshit in this firefight as they take over this camp. Instead of pointing out every detail, just so a lot of it is, well, of course, it's a movie, but it's pretty fucking awesome. So it's one of those suspensions of the belief for cool. You go with it. Hell, why isn't Dutch wearing a cover? I mean, it's just a booty hat would just be practical here. It's, just going to get shit tangled in his hair. Just a bad idea. MTV, the music channel choice of all special forces.
Come on in. Old Painless is waiting.
Interestingly, I used to work with a guy who called his revolver Old Painless. I didn't realize it came from this movie, so learn something new every day. Seems a bit like a highly improbable waste of ammo with no clear placement of the target. Also, no one here has any ear pro, so they've got to be about half deaf after that cacophony. Amazing how much his medical tools look quite similar to ours. I'm really not sure of the logic behind, well, it's our tripwires, maybe we won't see like natural vinings and whatnot. If it's that good of a... Obviously, it's going to be able to see something like that, out of place, blah, blah, blah. But I guess it's a good try, better try than nothing. So one of the best commando spec war guys out there noticed the infrared on his body and moved his head into position of said infrared? Come on now. The arm, they just got caught off, keep shooting the gun. I guess in the arm's death throes, the finger is caught on the trigger, but yeah, a little bullshitty. In reality, the mud wouldn't work quite as well for hiding from thermal imaging, especially from this advanced, it really wouldn't work with our thermal imaging we have in an advanced race like this. Yeah, the effects shown in the movie are minuscule at best in the real world. No, I really do enjoy everything about this final battle in the movie. It's, the improbable series of weapons Dutch creates in the span of a few hours. We're never actually sure exactly how the Predator's targeting system works. At least I can't really figure it out. And, how unfortunate one of the greatest Predator hunters in the galaxy happens to have fluorescent green blood. Kind of sucks for them. I guess that's one of their bigger Achilles heel. And that's going to do it for this edition of Military Movie Bullshit. As I thought, not a whole lot to jump on. And plus, overall, there's so much goofiness in there, and it's stylized Hollywood. But a couple of little things that's just fun for me to point out. And you get sucked into the story. It's one of the all-time cult classic action movies from the '80s. Well done, well built up overall. It's pretty easy, even from a military perspective, to kind of overlook some of the goofiness, and just try to enjoy, an action movie for what it is. And to me, I really think that this one really does hold up. I'm not overly familiar with all of the different sequels. I think they obviously intended for this to do sequels, which it did, but Arnold didn't come back, which kind of hurts them. Most people don't remember Predator 2 and I believe 3, and there's 2 crossovers with the Alien movies, I think. Maybe stuff to check out sometime in the future. Speaking of, another one to do would be Alien or Aliens. So that is, sci-fi is not completely off the table. Depending on just what the basis of realism is, and I'll take a look at some of the Aliens movies and see if any of them qualify. But that's pretty much it for the Salty Seaman. Hope you enjoyed this, and catch you freaks next time. Peace.